So the past couple of years, my time has been dominated by working on mobile projects in various roles. So why might that be? Well, the pundits are saying that the post-PC era has arrived. We've only been waiting for it for 10, 15 years. It's always been just around the corner, just around the corner. We get all this powerful processing into this little package we can carry around with us. But at this point in time, we can't ignore the numbers. There's 1 billion plus mobile devices sold every year. And some people are saying that chip manufacturers are making more mobile-related chipsets than they are PC chipsets. And when you talk to programmers who like to try new things, my friends who are working with Scala, or they're working with some new web application framework, or NoSQL, they're all doing mobile development now on their own time. And smartphones and the tablets devices are integrated into our lives more and more. I was out for dinner with my wife the other day, and the couple at the table next to us didn't speak a word. One had a tablet, one had a cell phone, and for the entire meal, while their children ran around the restaurant, they were doing whatever they were doing, calculating the tip, surfing the web, looking up ingredients, chatting with their friends, and they didn't utter a word. They're integrated. We use them for different types of things more and more and more. And something that really excites me is we have computing power being made available to people who live in areas that are less fortunate than we are, who can have access to a computer. And friends of mine that have traveled extensively say you can go into a tribal area, go see the market being set up for the day, and there's someone driving their goat herd to market talking on their cell phone. That's really exciting. So if you aren't doing mobile application work yet, you probably will be. And it surprises me when I sit down with a potential client or an existing client and they're talking about mobile, oh, we're never going to get there. And I look around the table and someone's tweeting what we're talking about on their Android device, and there's 2 or 3 iPhones, and someone has a Dell Streak with Windows, and there's all these different types of things are coming around, and little arguments about who has the better smartphone or not. And then the smartphone or the tablets go down. Oh no, we aren't going to do them here. Well, just wait until the CEO gets a tablet for their birthday. Just wait until one of your big competitors gets the jump on you and has a mobile app and you have to follow suit. Or an important customer pulls that veritable dump truck full of money up to your place, dumps out the money and says, please build us a mobile version. So the pressure will come. And there are a lot of implications for testing. The devices have less power. It reminds me a lot of testing PCs quite a few years ago. The inputs and displays are smaller, and the way you interact with them is different. And the portability is really fascinating. You need to test these devices by dragging them around and with you and trying them in different areas. Connectivity is different. We're used to PCs having stable networks and internet access. Well, there's a lot of complexity with mobile frameworks. You can jump from country to country, and all kinds of complex systems are underneath to support, and they're pushing and pushing to get more and more speed for them and changing them. And they're started out as communication devices as well as computers, so there's some implications there. And one of the ones that's hardest for testers is a combinatorial explosion of hardware and firmware to support. And that's just a fancy way to say there is a ton of platforms to support when you're thinking about testing. Even with one type of hardware from one vendor, you can end up with lots of combinations. With one vendor I worked with, we had over 128 combinations on one platform when we took in secure and non-secure connections, different connection types for data, and firmware and hardware upgrades. So that scares people. This sounds really hard. Let's just not do it. But we're testers. We like to have a challenge, so you can have a lot of fun with them. You can and should test devices on the move. I'm taking my testing to the coffee shop. And what really appeals to me, we have cool, shiny new hardware we can try out. And because of the way the technology is used and implemented, there's new and different types of testing techniques and ideas that we can utilize. And what I really enjoy is getting physical with the device. So here's an example of getting physical with a device. If you aren't used to using these types of devices, they're getting dominated by touchscreens. And what we can see is they interrupt us as well. when we interact with them, we can do different types of things, such as one of the things there is zoom in, zoom out. We can tap, we can double tap. We can grab something with 2 fingers and move it around. And another thing that's really interesting is I pull out the old trouser browser here. The screen changes its orientation as you move it up and down, back and forth. And there's a lot of technology that goes into making this work. I normally have a video demo to show you how I repeated this difficult bug, this intermittent bug, and a developer came to me and said, this application keeps freezing up, when the dreaded gimbal lock. Can you help us repeat that? It's when people are interacting with it, and so I took the device and I did something like this. There it is, it's frozen, here you go. Can you repeat that? So we hooked a big long cord to it. I tried to repeat it, and I couldn't repeat it. So I did a little bit of research, and how is this failing? And it turned out it was failing during demos when the device was being handed between people. So I managed to figure out that I could get the device to change its orientation if I swung it back and forth like this, and if I put my thumb on it, and I did a bit of interaction with it, and I got some decent exercise out of it as well, that I could repeat the gimbal lock problem over and over and over. In every scenario that we could find, we managed to drive that bug out. So have fun, get physical, but just don't wear your fingertips raw. Thank you.